Hello, it's day 8, the 20th of October, and this is our Art Deco hotel in Kiminindia. Today we're travelling to the desert town of Jaisalmer, which is about 350 kilometres, and you'd expect that to take about 3.5 hours, or 4 hours, but it actually takes about 7. Along the way we saw lots of solar panels for electricity, which was great. And of course the overloaded truck, it's actually got hay in it, so it's not heavy. This was how Kyle spent the journey, catching up on some sleep. And there's always a cow in the middle of the road. And you fit as many people as you can into a truck. And this was a truck that got bogged in the sand on the side. You can't actually see, but there's 3 earth-moving vehicles trying to help it out. And there's about 15 supervisors. I'm not quite sure who was in charge. One of the local shelters, and there's lots of wind power, thousands of wind turbines. Camels in the desert, and this is what the desert looks like. Could be in Australia. They make their fence posts from stone, which is interesting. Another abode. Shops along the side of the road. Then we made it to Mandir Palace, our home for a couple of nights, and that was welcome, I can tell you. Beautiful grounds, beautiful rooms, and most importantly, a beautiful swimming pool for the 45-degree heat. We headed into the town of Jaisalmer. It was a nice town, it had a good feel about it. Always the cows in the middle of the road. Lots of these 4-wheeled wooden trolleys carrying all sorts of things. Some sort of puffed rice or grain. Heading up the market alleyway. Cows everywhere, just helping themselves. Cooking pots. Again, some sort of different no, they're like pastas or noodles, I think. Lots of little men sewing. Anything you can get made. Looking up at one of the buildings, all intricate and beautiful. All sorts of different fried nibblies. Always a dog. This one was a puppy. We didn't see many puppies. This was the bung shop, a government licensed shop to sell marijuana lassies and cookies and the like. Very popular with the locals, I do believe. This was the fort at Jaisalmer. It was built in the 12th century, and apparently a quarter of the city's population still lives in the fort. It was pretty amazing. There was even a shop where you could buy Australian things. You could buy Vegemite. We went up to a rooftop to watch the sunset, and this is one of the temples. Looking across, we saw a lady with her twin tub, hard at work. It doesn't seem to matter where you go, you can always find a sky dish. That was some of the local talent, and this was the sunset from the rooftop. It was absolutely beautiful. Washing machine store. And the boys, of course, had to sit on the Royal Enfields. Yadu and Kyle, who's got dreams of riding around India on one. Jaisalmer by night. The next morning we went to the local man-made lake. A pavilion out in the middle of the lake. And there's also lots and lots of catfishes in the lake that come for when the people feed them. One of the holy men you see walking around. Looking back up to the fort of Jaisalmer. Quite an impressive building. We're in the desert, so there's camels now. Interesting steps out of nowhere. Nothing to support them. One of the beautiful Havelis. And they hang lime and chilies to ward off evil spirits. Ornate ceilings, beautiful buildings. Here you can see the cows eating bags. Apparently there's not enough around for them to eat, so they'll eat whatever they can. Can't be too healthy for them though. Spices, lots of spice shops. The dog, always the dog. These puppets are very popular in Rajasthan. They use them for telling stories. Looking down from the Haveli. Beautiful handwork. Shelves and shelves and shelves of beautiful things. Bedspreads, throws. Oh, this is a material shop. There's a tailor at work making cushions. This is the way they get rid of their rubbish. They burn it, which adds to the smog. It was good to see women driving. Back to the pool for a swim. On day 10 we headed out to the desert for our camel safari, but first we stopped at this mausoleum for the Maharajas and Maharinis. Beautifully carved, intricate, ornate sandstone buildings. It was interesting to see, take the old and the new, lots and lots of wind turbines. This is what desert accommodation's all about. And then we meet our camels. This is me and Ali and Mr. Rocket. Doesn't want to. Mr. Rocket doesn't want to go anywhere.
No, he say welcome.
Yay! Good?
You can give it to me,
That was Mr. Rocket and me getting acquainted and getting up and going. Had to take the shadow picture. Here I am astride him in the desert. Here's our camel train walking out to the sunset. Some of the locals came to entertain us. And here we are, the beautiful sunset in the desert, with camels silhouetted in the horizon. Then the man arrived with icy cold beers out of nowhere. It was perfect. Then we headed back for a night in the desert. And this is sunrise early the next morning.